The US Grand Prix is on for this weekend, and it's going to be very interesting because next week we are going to Mexico. But the US Grand Prix brings us a new feel, a different feel for the cars, and we can see that as the cars were on track, though some teams like us brought upgrades, and this is AS's home race, and we can see some teams that have some marketing structures in US coming up with different color on their car, which is as a result of their brand strategy in the US. We can see that on the Aston Martin Aramco, they change the color of the car. We can see that on the McLaren, on the RB, and on the Haas. It looks a little bit different, but it's something that we expect that this team does every year, and they do that very well. Now, this weekend is a sprint weekend, and we're having a sprint qualifying next. But during the FP1, you can see that on our tires, Lewis Hamilton looks about 6 tenths faster than the others, though we had some incident that made them stop early too. Some other drivers could not improve on that tire, but it was still about 5 to 6 tenths faster than everybody. On mediums, himself and George Russell are about 5 to 6 tenths slower than the soft tire runners, which is quite a great pace, and normally is a good race for McLaren always in Austin. So we're expecting McLaren to shine, but the 5 tenths look so close to me, and I think it's going to be a very, very huge one coming to the main race and the sprint race tomorrow. The sprint race tomorrow and the main race on Sunday, because we might see them close. And if with this pace, if Ferrari don't bolt like they always do their race and their qualifying, Ferrari should be close. And now we know sprint races are for teams that can quickly get the setup from the engineering aspect, and the drivers that understands the track and knows what to do on the car to set it up and bang the laps in. So we're expecting some great sprint qualifying in the next few minutes. We have Charles Leclerc out, probably an engine issue. We have Alex Albon to add this issue. He came back. We are going to see a lot of ups and downs on this circuit. Like I said in the main video, that Circuit of America always bring a tough challenge to the drivers because they're going to use much of their engine power. They're going to stress the car. The heat, they're going to push the car in that blazing heat without rain, and it's going to be very, very challenging for all the drivers and for the cars also. So some cars will make it, while some cars probably will not make it. And those cars that will make it out, well, I wish them congratulations. It's going to be a very, very interesting one as going to the sprint qualifying. And the sprint qualifying, the format is use different tires for each qualifying session. That's the SQ1, SQ2, SQ3, different compounds. The time for qualifying is limited, though it's a very huge track, and you can see that there are lots of bumps, and it's a high push track. You have to push to the limit. So let's see what happens. Let's see how these guys are able to put this together and give us a good sprint qualifying in the next few minutes. What a sprint qualifying. Sometimes surprises don't become surprises again when they are too often. When you see something over and over again, you don't see it as a surprise, you just see it as, well, let it be, it's live. Well, that was what we saw in the sprint race today, as Max Verstappen did Max Verstappen thing again during the sprint qualifying today. We saw a lot of surprises. We saw Nico Hulkenberg doing a very good job during the sprint qualifying. We saw Carlos Sainz has really improved, and that is one person that I've seen from the new movement of drivers. Carlos Sainz is experienced in moving teams over the years. He has moved 4 or 5 teams. He's well experienced, but getting to the half of the season, saw him picking up against his teammate, and he's been doing well in both qualifying and both races. He's looking decent. He's improving on the car. He's getting to know the car. He's really picked up against his teammates since mid-season. He's been doing well, but most times I think they just over-tune or over-torture that car, because any little tincture you touch on that car, the car go haywire. We saw the Ferrari in FP1. They did a good job. Lewis Hamilton was looking like racy. It was good on the medium tires and on the hard tires. But cut it off. Coming into sprint qualifying, the Ferrari struggled, as in they struggled to get into SQ2. It was through the eye of a needle that the Ferraris got into SQ2, which means Ferrari are now looking like the 5th best team in F1. Because since 30 races ago, the Aston Martin has really improved. You've seen them, especially in the hands of Fernando Alonso, doing a great job. They've really pushed themselves forward. Great one. Now, in SQ1, we had Gabriel Bortoleto out. His lap time was deleted, and I listened to his interview saying that he does not know how many laps he has done on the sim for that track. He's looking more confident, and sometimes, when the driver has not driven on a track and they've done sim coming to the track will look different. I know that coming into this track next year will be more different for him. He would have gotten himself better, but the same versus reality in this didn't really help him because he'll be starting 20th tomorrow, Ocon 19th, Tsunoda, Colapinto out, Bierman out. Since the beginning of sprint qualifying, Norris has been on top of this game. He is just breaking the rules of the time, showing that he has some decent time to show, and Verstappen is always guiding, staying close to him. Max Verstappen is always staying close to him all through it. And we saw on the medium tires in SQ1, we saw Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, Hamilton, and Nico Hülkenberg on medium tire. But getting into SQ2, we saw the Ferrari struggled. Hamilton had to do like this to qualify. It's crazy, you know. He had to get his nose drill out as in, just to qualify. It's crazy. Antonelli out 11th, Adja 12th, Gasly, Stroll, and Lawson. Track time deletion. I was trying to complain about Charles Leclerc blocking him, but I don't see it as Charles Leclerc blocking him. We have Norris, Verstappen, Piastri again. Those three guys looking so close this year. Up again in top 3, but now it's all Russell and Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg is consistent. He has been Mr. Consistent. This sprint qualifying, he's been consistent. Top 5 consistent. And consistency paid off. In SQ3, bam, he was there. Verstappen took the pole position. Lando Norris second. Verstappen outshone Lando Norris by some few hundreds of tenths, while Piastri was about 2 tenths away. And Nico Hülkenberg came shining his light like, hi, I'm here. He'll be starting 4th tomorrow. Then we have George Russell in 5th. Alonso in 6th. The likes of Sainz 7th. Hamilton 8th. Albon 9th, and Charles Leclerc 10th. Ferrari will always mess their qualifying up. That's one thing I've seen this season. They have learnings, they don't learn. I don't know. Maybe Ferrari will have to look for something or find something out to get themselves together, but it's looking like it's going to be a long season for Ferrari. But I hope Ferrari will be able to do a beautiful job in the sprint race tomorrow and the qualifying. But it's looking like a McLaren Red Bull race tomorrow. Those 3 guys, 2 teams will just, I believe they'll set out and be in the top, challenging themselves, trying to see who can lead and capitalize on that lead and see how they can do that in qualifying and the main race on Sunday. But it's going to be a very interesting one. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for the analysis of the sprint race and the qualifying tomorrow. Don't miss it. I love you guys. Bye. Cheer. And please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like, share. Comment, like I've always said, ask questions, we answer your questions. We are here for you to answer your questions. We love you guys. Bye. Yeah.